5 as well. You are looking at Mason Falslev, one of the 3 guys on this roster that was actually on the team last year. He didn't play much though, he was a redshirt, right? He is a big impactful player though for the Aggies. And with that, we are set for tip-off. Utah State comes away with the opening possession. The Aggies off to one of their best starts in program history, and that's saying something for a program that has had a lot of success. The 3 rimmed along, but that's Osabor that goes to work right away, gets the offensive glass, puts it right back up and in. Utah State gets the first bucket here.
Averaging over 2 offensive boards a game. You'll see him inside a lot tonight.
Out to Roddy Anderson, kicks it over to Max Rice, swings it to Chibuzo Abo. He's gonna try the 3. Can't come up with it, and it's Osabor with another rebound. Utah State comes into this game averaging 84 points per game in conference play. You know, the three-point shot, not necessarily their forte, but they can knock it down. Ian Martinez drills one from behind the arc. It's 5-0 early, Utah State.
Aggies are locked in, spreading that ball around. There's a bit of oomph with their offense right now. Great start to the game.
Ooh, Omar Stanley takes it at the 7-footer. The 7-footer wins that battle. Omar gets it back. Roddy saves it from going out of bounds, then throws it out of bounds. A turnover for the Broncos.
Big game, some nerves for the Broncos to start. See that defensive pressure from the Aggies forcing that turnover early.
Not much Roddy Anderson could do there, but that was Isaac Johnson, the big 7-footer, transferred over from Oregon 2 years ago, redshirted last season, but he comes up with the block. Darius Brown puts it on the floor, kicks to the corner. That's Johnson that saves it from going out of bounds, dumps it down low. Osabor now to a cutting Mason Falslev, and it is 7-0 early, Utah State.
Broncos bring the double on Osabor, but great assist there and find Falslev down the lane. Quick 7-0 start for the Aggies.
Looking for an answer. Tyson Degenhart going to try to provide it. Misses the 3. Johnson with the board. Here come the Aggies, showing why they are the 18th ranked team in America. Over to Martinez in the corner. Pump fakes it, drives baseline, goes at Tyson Degenhart. Rims it, and now Boise State comes down with the rebound.
Great defensive play by Tyson Degenhart, using verticality and playing the percentage play.
Max Rice, a tough shot in the lane, leaves it short. Pushing the other way. Martinez, an open shot, gonna bounce it back down. Or he was looking down low for Osabor, but Abo kicks the entry pass. He's gonna stay here with Utah State. Nice start for the Aggies, 3 of 5 from the floor. 2 assists on 3 buckets. They lead 7-0 again. About 2.5 minutes into this highly anticipated Mountain West matchup. Nice cut down low. Osabor gonna go at Omar Stanley, gonna get whistled for the walk. That's the first turnover of the game for Utah State.
Big emphasis for the Aggies to getting that ball inside. Averaging 84 points for conference play so far per game. Only 5.5 threes per game. Kind of do that math there, and Aggies like to get that ball inside, push in transition, really put pressure on the rim.
Man, can't say enough about the job Danny Sprinkle has done in his first year here at Utah State. Again, he only returned 3 players off this roster. He was hired in early April, didn't really get to take over till mid-April. A lot of the recruits at that point in time, whether it be out of high school or the transfer portal, have really already made their decisions, but brought 2 kids over from Montana State with them, was able to round out the roster, and they are really, really talented. Speaking of really talented, Roddy Anderson working that one baseline. Gets the short jumper to rattle home as the Broncos finally get on the scoreboard over 3 minutes into this game. Falslev cuts towards the hoop, leaves the layup short. Now the Broncos will push. Max Rice thinks about a 3, picks up the dribble, hands it off to Abo. Dribbles around Stanley, the short pull-up, 12-footer, in and out. Johnson with another board. He already has 3.
The Aggies doing a great job at the defensive end, switching all pick and rolls, creating some confusion for the Broncos.
Johnson puts it on the deck, little fadeaway on the baseline.
Number 20, Isaac Johnson.
Anderson feeds it to Omar, back to Anderson, out to Max Rice, hesitates, dribbles, lines up a three and connects. It is usually a good sign when Max Rice knocks down his first bucket.
Usually a good sign, and Aggies looking to double the low post with Omar Stanley, and Broncos doing a great job finding the open shooter.
Yeah, that inside-out game is going to be important. Anderson contests the shot by Brown. Misses the layup, and Anderson pushing back the other way. Feeds it to Omar. Oh my, for the two-handed dunk. And now all of a sudden, the crowd here inside ExtraMile Arena coming to life for the first time. Nice defensive possession here for the Broncos. 2 on the shot clock. Johnson just throws up a 3, airballs it, but they're going to say he was fouled, I think, and they are going to give Johnson 3 shots. Bronco Nation doesn't like it. Leon Rice doesn't like it, but it doesn't matter. The Aggies are going to be at the free throw line with a 2-point lead when we come back. Boise State men's basketball coach Leon Rice roaming the sidelines for a 14th year here in Boise. The Broncos chasing their 15th victory of this season this afternoon. If they can get that, they would get one step closer to what would be Leon's 11th 20-win season in 14 years with the Broncos. Remarkable success. I asked Danny Sprinkle about one of the more veteran coaches in the Mountain West Conference, and boy, did he have a lot of good things to say about Leon Rice. Been watching Leon in his clubs for really almost 20 years now. Really admires Leon Rice and calls him one of the guys that sets the standard in the Mountain West Conference. Still giving the official a little bit of an earful following that foul right at the end of the shot clock. Johnson at the free throw line for 3 free throws, hits the first. An 81% free throw shooter out of American Fork, Utah. Started his career at the University of Oregon and averaged about 2.5 points and a little over a rebound in 5 minutes of action back during the 2021-22 season. Appeared in 14 games for the Ducks. Transferred back to his home state last year, redshirted, and now he finds himself in the starting lineup for a top 25 Aggie squad.
And what an asset to have for the Aggies. 7 foot, first bucket of the game, fall away jump shot. Obviously shooting the ball well from the free throw line, so he'll be a guy to watch for the Aggies in years to come.
Hits all 3 free throws, pushing the Utah State lead back out to 5. Chibuzo Abo, the pull-up just beyond the free throw line. Buzo, one of the better players at scoring early in contests. He's averaging a team best 9.3 points per game in the first half. He's a guy that usually carries the scoring load early in contests for the Boise State men's basketball team.
Broncos need a bucket. That's the guy they go to. Sharp shooter. But he likes to utilize his mid-range game as well. As you can see there, Cam Munt with the assist. Little pin down action. Broncos like to utilize that ball at the top of the key.
For the first time, Utah State utilizing their bench. It's Josh Aduje into the game for the first time. Ball out of bounds. It's going to stay with Utah State. 5 on the shot clock.
See a quick hitter here out of the baseline, out of bounds. 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Brown tosses it out. Osabor thinks about a 3, dribbles it in, hits a little fadeaway off the back end of the iron. Aduje chases down the offensive rebound. They rotate it around. Martinez going to attack with the left and gets fouled.
Utah State creating second chance opportunities here. Moving that ball around, and great job by Martinez here. Get to the free throw line for 2.
Martinez averaging 13.6 points per game, 3.4 rebounds, just under 2 assists per game in 27 minutes a night. Transferred over from Maryland, previously played at Utah, and that's really a significant connection because he actually played there when Andy Hill, the top assistant to Danny Sprinkle, was with the Utes. Those guys reconnected, decided he wanted to come back, and well, now he's playing for Utah State. Hits a couple of free throws. Once again, a 5-point game with Utah State out in front. Roddy Anderson pounds the rock. Going to try to go down low. Omar Stanley gets doubled. Feeds it back to Anderson. Somehow able to corral it. Lays it up and in. Nice pass from Omar Stanley. Ready to deal with the double team. Boise State has now made their last 4 consecutive field goal attempts. Brown tries to hit the floater. They're going to say that's out of bounds off of Boise State.
See here, Aggies moving the ball side to side. And
take another look at this one. You can see Brown hangs and hits. It did look like it was last touched by Omar Stanley. So new shot clock, at least 20, reset for Utah State. Brown comes off the screen, lines up a 3, buries it.
Beautiful out of bounds play right there. Great action. Brown coming off that pin down. The beautiful stroke to increase the lead to 6.
Cam Martin into the game off the bench, hands it off to Max Rice, hoists up another 3, a little short. They try to chase down the rebound, but it's Osobor that comes up with it. Brown up over the half court, dribbles in, decides to try an 18-footer, misses. Roddy Anderson skying for the rebound. He's now going to push, pulls up from the free throw line, misses. Brown with the rebound. So we head back the other direction. Falsliv, a little floater. Easy bucket for the redshirt freshman.
Beautiful play there. See that a lot tonight, up and down, and Utah State's really going to look to push the ball in transition, utilize their athleticism.
Omar Stanley dribbles it back out to the three-point line. Misses the 3, long rebound, Cam Martin. Roddy Anderson hands it off to Andrew Meadow. 15 on the shot clock for Boise State. Max Rice dribbling into the lane, tries a tough right-handed layup. Count the bucket and the foul. Max Rice is going to get a chance to earn 3 the old-fashioned way. Boise State trying to fight back in this one. Utah State giving them all they can handle. Max Rice trying to steal some momentum back here for Boise State. He has 5 early points for the Broncos. He'll be at the free throw line when we return to action. Max entered tonight with 1,071 career points. With that last field goal, he moves into 25th on the all-time scoring list at Boise State. Nick, this is a guy that is just simply a winner.
He is a winner, going inside the top 10 in Mountain West career victories here soon enough, and well-experienced play here at Boise State. A little up and down season so far. Starting the season 7 from 36 from the three-point line. Only 2 double-digit games in the first 8, but since then, over the last 11 games, averaging 13.7 points, and Broncos are great when he's shooting the ball well.
The 82% free throw shooter can't complete the three-point play, so it stays a 6-point ball game. Martinez drives baseline, guarded by Martin, kicks it out to Falsliv. Back to Martinez. Tries to dump it down low, ball out of bounds, turnover for Utah State.
Great defensive possession there by the Broncos. Great job staying in front. Switch on the pick and roll, forcing that turnover. Broncos matching up well when they can switch that on ball, keep that ball in front of them.
Jace Whiting getting a chance to run the offense. Looking for Meadow. That ball's going to go out of bounds off of Utah State. You can see Aduje trying to cut that one off, come up with a steal. Can't quite corral it. So it's going to stay with Boise State with 20 on the shot clock. Degenhart also back into the game for Boise State. That's Meadow that's tripped on the play, fighting for it. A number of players on the floor.
Jump ball. Broncos possession.
I think that was Falslip that ends up creating the jump ball. Leon Rice arguing for a foul. We'll see what happens here.
Inadvertent trip there by
that's what it looked like to me.
Aduje trying to get through that screen, and hard basketball.
No harm right there. No harm, no foul for that matter. 3 on the shot clock. Wow. Almost the exact same thing happened on the other end of the floor to start this game. Tyson Degenhart catches it in a really tough spot, has to force it up. Osibor goes to contest that shot and apparently gets a piece of Tyson Degenhart's hand. So with 1 on the shot clock, Degenhart's now going to go to the free throw line for 3 attempts.
Might have been a payback foul there from first one. Didn't see like Tyson was going to argue there with the refs, but
Degenhart, a 75% free throw shooter, misses the first, connects on the second. Max Rice checking back into the game for Andrew Meadow for the Broncos. Talked with Utah State head coach Danny Sprinkle, brought up Tyson Degenhart, said this guy is just one tough player, the consummate team guy. Rebounds, guards, does everything well.
Free throw lane violation.
Misses another free throw, but they're going to call a lane violation against Utah State, so we're going to re-rack this thing and he'll get another shot. Takes a breath, releases, misses again. So really a 1-for-4 trip at the free throw line for Tyson Degenhart there. Johnson down low to Osibor, gets tangled up with Tyson Degenhart, who gets whistled for his second foul.
Something of concern for Boise State coaches coming in to the game was the high-low action and feeding that ball down low to Osibor and creating foul trouble and putting pressure on these bigs, and Tyson with 2 fouls now early in the first half.
You can see Stanley try to get over to contest that shot, but a nice play there by Falslip to lay it in.
Really loved what I'm seeing here from Falslip to start the game. Attacking the rim, 6 points to start the game.
Yeah, it's a team high 6 for Falslip. 3 of 4 shooting in 8 minutes of action. Buzo tries to back his man down, kicks it back out to Max Rice, misses. Cam Martin with the rebound, can't handle it. Fighting for it, lays it back up and in, and gets fouled. There were 4 Utah State players at the feet of Cam Martin, and somehow he was able to come away with that, and now he's going to be at the free throw line.
So second chance opportunities and extra efforts here by Cam Martin. Broncos starting a little flat this game, and Coach Rice loves nothing more than some energy plays to get the team going.
Makes the first free throw attempt.
Utah State number 24, Carson Templin, reports in.
Has scored over 2,000 points in his college basketball career. Over 2,000 of them coming at the Division II level. Transferred to Kansas, dealt with some injuries, redshirted a year. Didn't play much for the Jayhawks, and now in his final year of eligibility, his 7th year of eligibility, he's spending his final season at the collegiate level here in Boise. Hits 2 free throws. Boise State has pushed this back to a 5-point game. Falslip over into the corner. Johnson releases the 3, misses. Martin with the board. Whiting with it. Martin thinks about it. Instead, gives it off to Max Rice. Dribbles into the lane. and he's going to turn it over. False slip now as Utah State working with numbers goes up and under. A wild layup attempt misses, and it's Chibuzo Abo with the rebound. Here goes Martin. Thought it had he had it down, but Boise State creates a second opportunity here on the offensive end thanks to Chibuzo Abo, and he releases the three and knocks it down from the corner. The three makes it a 2-point game, and Bronco Nation coming to life again. Isaac Johnson tries to quiet him but misses. Rebounded by Jace Whiting.
Here comes the crowd into this game.
Here goes Buzo, hand in the face, contested. Misses.
Oh, heat check moment, but finally a bit of energy here from the Broncos. Full court press, get up in this energy.
Johnson looks to pass, kicks it out. False slip now going to try the three. Whiting with the rebound. Down low. Stanley has it on the baseline. Kicks it back out. Max Rice, a wide open look from the perimeter.
Huge three from Max Rice. It's been a game of runs so far, and Boise State on an 8-0 run over the last minute 42.
8 early points for number 12, the senior out of Boise, Idaho. Ball over to false slip, guarded now by Rice. They let him try it, air ball.
This stadium is coming to life with the Broncos over the last 2 minutes. Really getting the Aggies out of sorts on offense, forcing into some tough shots.
Yeah, for the first time, Boise State seems to be in a bit of a rhythm on both ends of the floor. And I think we are going to have an officials review, as I think they're going to talk about whether that ball was deflected maybe. Max Rice heating up the hometown crowd. Boise State leads for the first time. Well, Nick, you said it. Max Rice has had a bit of an up and down season, but he has 8 points early tonight, picking up where he left off. Tied a team high with 16 points the last time Boise State was on the floor down in Fresno. That, again, was tied for the most on the team. What a gritty effort for the Broncos there, by the way. They led that game by as many as 16 in the second half. Fresno State went on a 23-5 run. They led by 2 late, but it was really Max Rice poking away a rebound, coming up with a steal that created an opportunity for Chibuzo Abo to knock down what was eventually the game-winning shot for the Broncos as they picked up a key road victory in Mountain West Conference play. Talking with Tim Duryea, Max Rice, and even Leon Rice this week, those are winning plays. And those are kind of the program-defining plays.
Been of an up and down season to start. Obviously last year, all Mountain West second team, averaging 14 points second on the team. But obviously what comes with that is eyes on the scouting report. And teams have done a great job this year as the main guy on the Boise State team of putting their main player on him. And that's really created opportunities for Abo as well as Degenhardt as well. But he's done a great job trying to get through his slow start of the season, as well as we hear
the officials are still conferring about what's going on right now. We'll get an official update here in just a second. But again, Max Rice, only 34% on the season, but he is clearly heating up in these last couple of games. The Broncos could certainly use him. Talking with Danny Sprinkle a little bit earlier today, right before breakfast, he said that he knows Max is a guy that can go off for 30 at any given time. Okay, during that last moment there, an official came over. What happened, Nick?
Sounds like it's going to be a flagrant 1 foul.
Okay.
Wasn't sure on the number, but it sounds like it might be Omar Stanley with an elbow to the facial area of a Utah State player.
Okay, we're going to get another look at this. It'll go down as Omar Stanley's first foul. Elbow gets up there, a little bit of a hook. It certainly didn't seem egregious, Nick, but A couple years ago, they really started placing an emphasis on anything above that shoulder area. And you can see Omar's elbow gets a little too high. And even if, again, if it seems harmless, it's just something you have to avoid.
Something good to avoid, but obviously Carson Templeton doing a great job there, hunting that offensive rebound, and just got in an awkward spot for Omar, and elbows were high, and looked like there were some contacts for the refs to call there, as we see in missing the first free throw.
Templin, a freshman out of Lovejoy High School in Texas. An 85% free throw shooter, misses both of them.
Utah State ball.
It will be Utah State ball, though. But a 1-point lead for Boise State. They had trailed the whole way until that Max Rice field goal right before the last stoppage. Man, it feels like it took a little while to get sorted out. Brown tries to go high off the glass. That was Martin there to contest the shot. Max thinks about it, over to Whiting in the corner. He can knock him down if he's open, and he does. Jace Whiting hits the three. Boise State now up 4.
Huge three from Jace Whiting. Increases lead for the Broncos.
Martinez answers right back in the face of Abo.
Right back at you. Some great offensive display here from both teams.
Utah State had missed their previous 6 field goals, so Martinez ends the drought with the 3. Down low, Abo feeds Stanley, and he gets fouled.
See Chibuzo getting that ball down there in the low post and knows that double team's coming, and Stanley doing a great job cutting towards the basketball and heading to the line for 2.
Out of bounds.
Correction.
They are going to say it was on the floor. So a new shot clock, a fresh 20 for Boise State as Whiting gets set to inbound it. Gets Abo in the corner. Trying to back down Martinez. They're going to double him. Down low, Omar Stanley. Only needed one hand this time. The thunderous dunk.
Attacking the rim hard, and see the Broncos there facilitating that low post area and knowing that Utah State's coming with a double and moving that ball beautifully.
A 13-3 run over the last 3:21 for Boise State. Now they double. Asabor kicks it back out. Brown with it. Tries to center it down low. Templin misses. And I believe gets called for a foul going for that offensive rebound. Man, Cam Martin has provided some energy off the bench for this team. And you can see Leon Rice pointing right at the 7th-year senior. A double fist pump. Loves the effort, loves the energy that the Kansas transfer's providing right now.
Cam Martin dealing with a shoulder injury here over the recent weeks, but might have capped some of his minutes, but he's come out here. So we see a beautiful pass from Cam Martin into Omar Stanley again, and see Utah State here calling a timeout. ExtraMile Arena erupting.
A 15-3 run now for Boise State over the last 4+ minutes. Cam Martin, one thing he can do is pass the basketball. He has really had to evolve his game, Nick, because of a shoulder injury. He is not the shooter, he is not the scorer that he once was, but he is such an instinctual player. The game comes to him so easily. It seems like it almost moves at a snail's pace for him at times, and he's able to have that nice little pass down low for the easy 2-point bucket for Boise State.
We know he can score over 2,000 points in the Division II level, but as you mentioned, shoulder injury limiting him a little bit, but he has that vision inside, and with Omar Stanley in there. Trying to find the open player, averaging 2.5 assists per game, second on the team.
Going into this season, you know, they thought that he was going to be that real three-point threat at the 5 spot, was going to present, you know, some matchup problems on the pick and pop. But a shoulder injury has changed his game, and he's evolving. It's been a frustrating process, but you can see some hard work and practice starting to pay off. Back underway. Osibor cuts to the bucket, gets fouled. That is one thing he is elite at doing, is getting to the free throw line.
Great play here with the back pick, and 7-foot Johnson looking over the defense with a great pass there. As you mentioned, that's what he does. 150 free throws so far shot on the season. Shooting about 67%, but that's how he gets his points, at the line, putting foul pressure on the opposing team.
Gets the friendly role there at Montana State last year. Only started 2 games, played in 34, averaged 10 points, just a little under 5 rebounds. If you wonder how he's been able to come here and explode in terms of his productivity, well, I think he was actually this player last year. There was a problem. The guy in front of him at Montana State was the Big Sky MVP. So he just kind of had to be patient and wait his turn, and now his turn has come at Utah State. Hey, one thing Utah State can do is push tempo and score in transition. A nice play by Omar Stanley there, as now they'll force the Aggies to operate in the half court.
Speaking to Tim Duryea during the week, and it's what the Aggies are going to do. Get that defensive rebound secured and push on transition.
Brown gets a 3 to go down right in front of Roddy Anderson, and we're knotted back up. 29 all with 5.5 minutes to go in the first half.
4 from 9 from the three-point line. Not known so much as a three-point shooting team, but shooting efficiently here in the first half.
Roddy Anderson's going to try a 3. Misses, ball poked away. Martinez with the long rebound, pushes it up, almost throws it out of bounds, and he does. Aduje put in a tough spot right there, couldn't track it down. Utah State with just their 3rd turnover of the first half. That was a key to the game. When I talked with Coach Sprinkle, said they have to keep it under 10 turnovers. Anything more than that, Boise State's too good at home and too good offensively to beat. That's a key to watch. Under 10 turnovers for Utah State so far. They're well under that mark. Roddy tries to find Tyson Degenhart over on the wing, can't handle it, and that'll be the 5th turnover for Boise State.
Utah State continuing to switch up their defense. See a little zone action there.
Here comes Brown again. Misses the 3. That was Johnson and Degenhart battling for the rebound. Degenhart's going to come away with it, and so will the Broncos. Back to Roddy, over to Max, pump fakes the 3, resets, now shoots it again, misses. Ball tipped around, Omar Stanley somehow comes away with it, tosses it back to Abo in the corner, and he's gonna get fouled shooting what I believe is gonna be a 3. Check that, he might have been inside the arc actually.
Foul Utah State number 20.
Looks like the refs are going over to check. Ooh, you might be right there, Jay.
His toe was kind of flirting with the line there, as the referees go over to determine if this is going to be 2 or 3 attempts for Chibuzo Abo.
Done many games together, Jay, and just seems like every game, Abo heads to the free throw line with a foul on the 3-point shot. He just has a nick to get those defense up and in him, and must be his 10th, 12th time at the line for the 3-point line.
Yeah, really good look. It looked like the toes were behind it. The officials are going to call over another set of eyes. as now the players are going to get called back to their benches.
And a media timeout. We'll continue the review on the two.
The officials want to take a longer look at this, and they'll do that when we come back. We'll give you an update, whether it's 2 or 3 free throw attempts for Chibuzo Abo. This game tied up at 29. Well, that was about as close as it gets, but they are going to award 3 free throw attempts to Chibuzo Abo. Talking with assistant coach Tim Duryea a little bit earlier this week on how he always manages to get fouled, right? Tim said, I've never seen a guy draw more shooting fouls in the act of shooting than Buzo, and I gotta say, I agree with him. Buzo also has this really awkward stat attached to his name where he is so much better as a shooter when he is contested. Shoots 51% with a hand in the face versus 32% when he's left wide open.
It's a bit unorthodox. I'd prefer to shoot a wide open 3.
Well, most people that have ever played the game of college basketball would prefer that, but Abo is a unique player, and that is a unique stat as he hits his first free throw attempt. 13 straight games with at least 1 3-point field goal made. He has one tonight, so that is 14 now. And oh, by the way, when he scores 10 or more at home, Boise State is 19-1 all time. He already has 7. Make it 8 with that free throw. The third time this game we have seen a player fouled shooting a 3. How about this? R.J. Keene checking in for Boise State. The first time in weeks that he has played. Martinez for 3. Misses off the side of the iron. Osibor tracks down the offensive rebound. Another opportunity. It'll be Aduje now. He rattles home the 3 to tie it. Back up at 32.
Both teams looking to switch up their defense, and Boise State joining in the 1-3-1 zone as we see here with Utah State, but finding the open player.
Whiting back over to Keene. Keene back to Whiting. Down low. Nice ball movement by the Broncos. Back out now. Whiting has it again. Buzo going to try the 3. Buries it. Chibuzo Abo into double figures. 11 points for number 11. Utah State looking to go down low. Osibor got a bit off balance, but that's because Omar Stanley, it appears, pushed him in the back. Check out Buzo. Again, a hand in the face, contested 3. It doesn't matter. Number 11 has 11.
He can get hot real quick and go on the free throw line, getting that ball in rhythm, and continues that from the 3-point line. But Obozo putting pressure on again with the bigs. Putting some foul trouble in Omar Stanley, and he'll be continuing to do that all night. The Aggies looking to feed him down low.
Yeah, that's 2 on Stanley, 2 on Tyson Degenhart, who is in the game right now with 3:01 remaining in the first half. Johnson guarded by both Whiting and Degenhart. Now it's back out to Martinez, drives in, leaves it for Aduje. Goes all the way around and down, back-to-back buckets for Aduje. Utah State's bench has been so good this season. They average about 22 points a game from their bench. Tyson Degenhart.
Beautiful play, getting on that offensive glass, which is a big emphasis for the Boise State Broncos this season.
Brown tries to feed it down low. Nice catch and finish by Johnson at the rim.
Isaac Johnson bringing some valuable minutes, only averaging about 13 minutes per game this season, but playing some extended minutes here tonight, riding a big spot for the Aggies.
Already played 14. Only 6 below his season average for an entire game. Degenhart working against Osobor, going to get called for an offensive foul, and that is a big one. That is his third offensive foul.
Great defensive play there by Osobor. Playing vertical and Degenhard getting his shoulder into his ribs.
Leon Rice obviously trying to steal some minutes there with the star player at the end of the first half, despite having 2 fouls. Gets one that he's going to pick up on the offensive end, not the way that you would expect that to go down. But that is going to put Boise State in a bit of a bind the rest of the way here. We're going to keep it here. Utah State's made 3 out of their last 3 field goal attempts. I did want to finish my thoughts on their bench production. Again, they have been so good when it comes to getting contribution from their bench this season, averaging about 22 points per game from that unit. And when they outscore the opposing team, they are undefeated, 9-0, and that's a little bit of a concern there, Nick, because Boise State, their bench play, I would say at best, has been a little inconsistent. Better of late, but inconsistent.
Started the season playing double-digit guys. Leon Rice, as we get into conference play, with some bigger games, really relying on some of the experienced players and playing 7 to 8 guys throughout conference. You see Osobor, we mentioned it pre-game, he's going to put foul pressure on you, and looks like he's doing that on the defensive end and the offensive end.
Boise State has dug in defensively this afternoon. Utah State shoots it as a team at a 50% clip on the season. One of the most efficient offensive shooting teams in the entire country. So far today, they are down to 41% from the field. Cam Martin kicks it to R.J. Keene. They push it around. Now Whiting has it, guarded by Brown. Back to Keene. Keene's going to go baseline. Gets into some trouble and is going to get called for travel.
So the Aggies moving on defensive and really well. Ball moving from the Broncos, but creating that turnover there with the help side defense from Brown.
Max Rice checks back into the game with a little over a minute to go until halftime. Utah State trailing by 1, a tight ball game all afternoon. That's Osobor that goes up for the layup, and Abo's going to get called for the foul.
Osobor just has such a big presence down low. You can see him there sealing in with that drive for Martinez, really just opening up down low with the help from Cam Martin. Straight back to the line.
Great Osobor again. His name makes you pause and ask, what is the story behind it? Well, apparently when he was born, his parents said that he was their greatest gift. So his name, great. He has played great for Utah State. Not only this season, but tonight. 3 of 3 at the free throw line now, 5 points. He also has 3 assists, which is already more than his season average. Misses that last free throw attempt as it was a chance to put Utah State back in the lead. Utah State once led by 8. A tie game. Jace Whiting into the lane. The finger roll falls as the Broncos go back out in front.
Some big minutes from Jace Whiting. 5 points off the bench, 2 rebounds, an assist to go along as well.
Slapping the floor against maybe the best point guard, or at least one of the best point guards in the Mountain West Conference. Darius Brown gonna attack. Kicks it back to Martinez, pump fakes, now he rises, fires, misses the 3. Abo with the rebound. Boise State will take a 2-point lead into the locker room. What a first half here at ExtraMile Arena. The 2 best teams in the Mountain West showing why. Boise State trying to hold a halftime lead, something they've been able to do all season long. Undefeated when leading at the half. Right now they hold a 2-point advantage over Utah State. We mentioned the Broncos battling a little bit of foul trouble with their star player, Tyson Degenhart. You feel, Nick, the first few minutes of this second half are going to be big for both of these teams. Boise State's going to have to navigate foul trouble, while Utah State going to have to continue to battle the atmosphere.
I'm assuming Utah State, first thing they're going to look to do is attack the paint with Tyson Degenhart, try to put some foul pressure on him to see if they can get that to number 4 early. But as you mentioned, 40% from the field goal line from Utah State. I think they'll look to get back inside, see if they can get some cheap, easy points here to start the second half.
Everywhere you turn, a next daunting opponent awaits. I don't want to look too far ahead here, but for Utah State, coming up for them, they head back out on the road after this, have to go down, play at a Nevada squad that's had some struggles recently, but they have been, they go home, after this. So, we'll see how they can continue to battle what they have coming up here in the next 5 games. At New Mexico versus Air Force, and then at Colorado State. So 2 quad 1 games on tap for Utah State coming up in the very near future.
And we looked at the net rankings. There's never a night off in the Mountain West Conference. Spoke to Tim Duryea during the week talking about that, where they're looking at games ahead, but they're just focused solely on this game going 1-0.
Yep. By the way, I got this thing backwards. My apologies. Boise State's heading to New Mexico after this. Utah State hosts San Jose State and then has to travel down to take on San Diego State before getting to host the Wolfpack on February 6th. These teams will meet again in Logan coming up on February 10th. Boise State getting their turn to travel down and face one of the more hostile road environments, what I'll call in all of college basketball. You go to Logan, you got to earn a victory down there.
Just mentioned Ozabo putting that pressure inside. Omar Stanley now with 3 personal fouls as well. See Tyson Degenhart starting on the bench for the second half.
Tough way for this one to begin for Boise State. Omar Stanley going to stay in the game. Tyson Degenhart, as you just mentioned, on the bench to start the second half. Omar Stanley going to back down Osobor. Leans in, gets the friendly roll to fall.
Great defense, but even better offense there from Omar Stanley. Off-balance shot going down.
Boise State now shooting 50% as a team for the game. 15 of 30 from the floor. Johnson leaves it for Martinez, dishes it back to Johnson. Ball poked away, Max Rice comes up with it. Boise State now gonna push. Martin gonna pull it back out, and now the Broncos get set up in the half court. Abo gonna try to back down, Falslip. Kind of leans in, now leans away.
All the keys to the recipe for Abo. Beyond the 3-point line, inside, Creighton shots. Tyson Degenhart on the bench, continuing to lead the Broncos.
It is wild how much more he now has in his bag of tricks when it comes to the offensive end. Osobor can't handle it. A turnover for Utah State.
Spoken to the coaches all season long about Chibuzo Abo, and just a pro's pro, put a lot of time in on the court as well as the weight room, and can really see it pay off to start the season, and doesn't ride the roller coaster, stays even keel.
You can tell the difference in his physique too. He said by the end of last season was down to about 210, 215 pounds. Now he's focused on his eating habits, making sure he keeps that weight on, playing at nearly 230 pounds at 6'7", and can shoot. Omar Stanley tries it. Omar Stanley off the front end of the iron, off the backboard, down and in. He hits his first 3 of the night, his 6th in the last 3 games. Boise State's on a 7-0 run. Osobor going to try to quiet the crowd, spins baseline. The reverse layup is going to get him a trip to the free throw line as Cam Martin picks up the foul.
See the recipe for Utah State. Get the ball inside to Abozo. heading to the line for his 7th and 8th free throw of the game.
Averages about 9 a night. He is on pace to crush that total. And he almost gets the offensive rebound. Roddy Anderson comes in at the last second. Max Rice pull up in transition, misses. Oh, Cam Martin tried to bring the house down with the putback dunk. Boise State still with it. Now Roddy Anderson misses the layup.
Some high energy basketball being played at ExtraMile Arena tonight. Cam Martin trying to be on Sports Center top 10 here.
13, and a technical foul.
There's been a technical foul assessed according to the in-house PA announcer.
And a technical foul call.
And it is going to be on Leon Rice, I believe.
4 team fouls.
Boise State already with 14 fouls, barely 2.5 minutes into the second half. Martinez will be the one that shoots the free throws for Utah State. 82% on the season. Firing it right into the student section, quieting the student section here at ExtraMile Arena. They're going to try to crank it up and let him have it again. Martinez takes a breath, gathers himself, goes 2 of 2. It will also be Utah State ball.
Coach Rice continuing to give it to the refs. Watch out not to get a second one, but usually likes to massage the refs, but obviously said a little bit too much there.
So now Utah State trying to answer. Johnson misses, rebounded by Stanley. Cam Martin going to Osibor. Osibor pokes it away. That's Martinez and Abo on the floor. Abo comes away with it. Max tries to lob it up for Stanley. He just catches it, gathers it. Only 7 on the shot clock. Gonna rise, fires, misses, short. Out of bounds is gonna stay with Boise State. Oh.
Lots going on the court.
A wild exchange right there.
See how much this game means to both teams with the energy exerted out there on the court, and a bit of an ill-advised shot from Omar, but
Martinez gets a little hands. He picks up a foul. That's the first foul for Utah State this half.
Crowd giving some encouragement to the refs. First foul call, second half.
.15 on the shot clock. Roddy Anderson dribbling it on the Bronco logo near midcourt. Into the three-point line. Now drives into the lane. Tries to hang it. Can't get it to fall. Johnson with the rebound. Falslip hands it off. Now Johnson puts it on the deck. Drives in. Hits a tough layup as Utah State climbs back to within 2.
Very impressive. 7-footer running the break. Ooh. Pump fake and get himself to the rack. Pretty special asset right there with that size.
Max Rice trying to back down Falslip. Falslip reaches in and is going to get called for the foul. Well, Boise State starts the second half on a run. Utah State answers right back. We got a tight one. Tyson Degenhardt called great Osibor one of the best players in the country when I talked about him earlier this week. The guy is a load to handle. Tim Duryea said a super skilled big. He's averaging about 8 free throw attempts per game in Mountain West Conference play. Well, he is at that mark right now. One of his greatest strengths, Nick, is finding a way to get to that free throw line.
You wouldn't believe it, but he's only taken 2 field goal attempts. Seems like he's done a lot more out there, but obviously gone to the line 8 times. As you mentioned, he's a load down there. Aggies continue to look to find him down low.
Back underway, Jace Whiting inbounds into Tyson Dagenhart, who returns to the game with his 3 fouls. Oh, nice action there by Boise State to get Max Rice an open look. Beautiful feed by Jace Whiting. Rice gets fouled on the layup attempt, and he'll be at the free throw line.
Aggies overextending on Rice beyond the 3-point line, and great find there on the backdoor cut.
2 shots coming for Max Rice, 2.
I don't know how often this has ever been said, but Max Rice 0 for 2 from the free throw line. Missed an opportunity to complete a 3-point play in the first half. Misses the first free throw there. Refocuses, gets the second one to fall. He has 9 points. Second most on Boise State's roster tonight. Chibuzo Abo leads the way with 13. On the other end, Ian Martinez leads the Utah State scoring effort with 10. Lob pass for Osibor. Looked like a chance for a big finish. Couldn't handle it. Now he's going to go down low. Nice entry pass on the baseline, and it's Johnson that gets a layup.
4th assist for Osibor there. Doing a great job inside. Maybe not taking as many field goals as he might like, but doing a great job facilitating. It's Boise State's looking to double him.
Cam Martin hands it off to Max Rice. Back to Martin, over to Abo, thinks about it. Now he's going to reload, tries a 3, misses it well short, the air ball, and now Utah State going to push. Brown up, under, pass Whiting, lays it in, and Utah State leads for the first time this half.
Beautiful Euro move there on the transition from Brown.
Utah State made their last 3 field goals. Boise State doesn't have a field goal in the last 3.5 minutes. Abo backs down Martinez. The short hook shot misses. Here come the Aggies again. They led by as many as 8 points in the first half. Right now they have a 1-point advantage with 11 on the shot clock. Johnson fires up a 3. No good, Rice with the board. Over 4 minutes without a field goal for Boise State on offense. Fans wanted a foul there, don't get it. Rice now dribbling baseline, back to the basket. Pump fakes, leaves it for Dagenhart. Can't finish. Rolls off the rim. Brown with the rebound. Loses the handle for a second. Now goes down low to Osibor. Spins to his right. Up and in. Leon Rice is going to take a timeout as Utah State starting to get hot. They lead by 3. Well, Utah State led a good portion early in this game. They've trailed since, but now they are on an 11-1 run over the last 4-13, and they have a 3-point advantage with 13.5 minutes remaining.
Getting the ball inside, really attacking that paint. 4 from 6 from the field, 66%, increasing that percentage we were talking about over the halftime break. But as we mentioned, ball's going straight through Osibor. Might have only taken 2-3 shots, but doing a great job facilitating. See if they can continue this run.
Utah State 4 of 6 as a team shooting here in the second half. They're also 5 of 6 at the free throw line. As we're back underway. Boise State looking for an answer. They had one when they trailed in the first half. Who do they turn to now? Max Rice up, under, tough shot misses. RJ Keene with an offensive rebound.
Feel that energy and Boise State offense just disintegrating a little bit. Go back to Osibor putting all that foul pressure on, and Dagenhart not starting in the second half, and some of that cohesion for the Boise State offense not here right now.
Stanley into the lane. Foul's going to go against Utah State.
Utah State, number 34, Khalifa Sacco.
And that ball in the low post. Omar just A little extended there on the forearm.
Boise State picked up the first 4 team fouls to start this half. Utah State's had the last 5. Max Rice back over to Degenhardt on the wing. He's going to pull up. Tries a 3. Misses. Aduje with the rebound. Here comes Utah State. Brown looking down low. Utah State can't finish. Max Rice bounce pass. A nice look for Tyson Degenhardt.
Beautiful play there from Max Rice coming off pick and roll action with Tyson Degenhardt. Just the man you want to get going here in the second half.
5 points for Tyson Degenhardt, 2 of 5 shooting. Brown rises, fires,
Wow.
connects.
That will shush the crowd right there. Beautiful one-on-one move there by Brown.
Brown now over 1,400 career points. Tyson Degenhardt drives. They're not going to give him the bucket. They're going to call it on the floor against Osobor. Down the stretch we go. The Aggies surging back out front. They lead 52-49. Here you go, Tyson Degenhardt trying to attack. Gets to the free throw line, wanted it to count, throws his hands in the air as they call it on the floor.
Might have been a little push and shove before he picked that ball up, and Tyson thought he was going to the line, but
a big call because it's a three-point game and a chance to tie the game there, but I also think the correct call.
See the ball continuing to feed into Degenhardt's hands, and seen over the course of the season for the Broncos, he seems to shine a little bit more in that second half.
See if he can get it going. Boise State's program guy against Utah State's program guy. Kicks it out, Max Rice now. Into the lane, the scoop floater, no good.
Missing those close range shots for the Broncos over the last couple of minutes, and great offense, getting to the hoop, just can't seem to finish those tough finishes.
Tough shot for Max there too. Brown for 3. Misses badly. It looked like the Aggies were going to come away with it, but they turn it over. Sacco steps on the baseline. Ball caromed off quickly. Not much you can do there, but it will be Boise State basketball.
Sacco bringing some great minutes off the bench. Energy on the offensive glass.
Turnover number 7 for Utah State. Almost halfway through the second half. Jace Whiting, a lot of run on offense, or a lot of run for Boise State today. Roddy Anderson, the starting point guard, only has played 15 minutes. Been up over 30 ever since Mountain West Conference play started. Max Rice, here he goes again, misses again. Omar Stanley tried to save that. Utah State, and great Osobor now attacking. Over to Johnson on the baseline, he misses. A quick pass in transition. Whiting to Tyson Degenhardt. Tyson going up above the rim to fire up Bronco Nation. His 7th dunk of the season. That's not something he has done in his career up until this point. A more athletic Tyson Degenhardt, though, showing he can rise up and finish.
Right back at you on
Utah State just won't go away, obviously. Ready for this environment, ready for this atmosphere. Omar Stanley battling down low. He gets fouled.
is his second personal.
Johnson picks up his second personal foul. That's the 7th team foul for Utah State, as Boise State will be at the free throw line for the final 9:46.
Leon Rice must have cashed in that technical foul with 7 straight fouls on the Aggies.
Crazy how that works. First 4 fouls that were called in the second half went against Boise State. Literally, the last 7 fouls have all gone against Utah State.
One more.
Utah State still with the free throw advantage. 13 of 17 as a team. Boise State now 9 of 13. Here goes Brown again, decides to pull up, misses. Whiting and Roddy Anderson sharing the floor. Anderson into the lane, ball poked away. Johnson's gonna get called for a foul.
Foul, Utah State, number 20, Isaac Johnson.
Roddy Anderson going to the line, and we'll reach in there from Johnson.
Yeah, for as much as Roddy tries to drive, get to the bucket, he does not get fouled a lot. He will be at the free throw line for a 1-and-1 opportunity. Boise State, ice cold shooting, only 2 for their last 15. Trying to find their points at the freebie stripe. Roddy Anderson can't cash it in a 1-point game. Misses 1 like missing 2 basically though, as that was a 1-and-1 opportunity. Step back 3, Martinez misses. Degenhart rips it off the rim, and here comes Whiting leading the charge. $17 on the shot clock. Tyson's gonna try it.
It's the second half, and that's when he shows up. Huge 3 from Tyson Degenhart.
Tyson Degenhart from straight away hits his first 3 of the game. Boise State now back out in front. Bronco Nation loving that response from the Broncos. I often say this about Tyson Degenhart. I think it's the ultimate compliment. He is the basketball version of Kellen Moore to Boise State. Back-to-back NCAA tournaments as a freshman and sophomore, has the Broncos back on track to maybe get there for a 3rd straight time, something they have never done here at Boise State. Over 1,100 career points. He's battled foul trouble. This hasn't been the smoothest game for him, but when his team needed something, needed an answer, he rises up and hits the 3, Nick.
Only a junior, got another season next year, but boy, his name's going to be all over the record book, and one of the best players to play here at Boise State, and charismatic guy off the court, no ego to him whatsoever, 100% a team player, and it's great to see him doing so well out there.
Yeah, it was interesting. Against Fresno State, he didn't have his best game, only had 5 points in that contest. It snapped a streak in which he scored in double figures in 16 straight games. Having a bounce-back performance against Utah State here, especially in the second half. Osobor over to the corner. Nice ball movement here as Martinez is going to get an open look from 3. Utah State only 5 of 18 on 3-point attempts tonight. Here goes Abo looking for contact. Ball goes off of Johnson. It's going to stay with Boise State with 18 on the shot clock. Nice defense there. See Johnson going straight up with it.
Really impressed with Johnson so far tonight.
Absolutely.
Playing a bigger role for the Aggies, and I think you'll see a lot more to come for him.
Abo rises and fires up the inbound pass, misses, but that's Omar Stanley crashing the offensive glass, laying it back up and in, and getting back in transition as Osobor steps on the baseline and turns it over. The Broncos on a 7-0 run. 8 minutes to go. Tyson Degenhart quickly into the lane. They're going to call a blocking foul against Johnson. The energy is turned up here at ExtraMile Arena. We head down the home stretch between Boise State and Utah State. You know, the Mountain West has some incredible home court advantages. You have the Pitt in Albuquerque, obviously Viejas at San Diego State. You go to Logan, one of the best home court advantages you're going to see. Boise State's been building, though. Over 12,000 fans here today. Their 10th largest crowd in school history. And when Boise State does crack 12,000 fans, they are 9-3 all time, looking to make it 10-3, Nick.
Nothing like as a player coming to a packed-out crowd. Top of the table clash in the Mountain West. You feel the energy inside ExtraMile Arena tonight.
Tyson Degenhart at the free throw line. Kind of walks that one in with a little bit of body English there. Now 2 for 4 at the free throw line, 11 points. Omar Stanley, the leading scorer for Boise State with 15, as Tyson Degenhart leaves that one short. Osobor comes down with the rebound. Pulls it back up, tries to leave it for Johnson. He can't handle it, and the Aggies are going to turn it over.
8-0 run from the Broncos here. Last 2 minutes, and Aggies just creating some unforced turnovers here.
Yeah, an interesting move to pick up your dribble there and try to leave it for the 7-footer in the backcourt.
Tough play there. Just
we talked about how good, you know, Darius Brown is, though. Goes right over to Osobor, just like kind of calms and cools him. Brown, an incredible leader. Guy that makes a lot of winning plays, trying to settle his team as they're down 5 now on the road. Boise State trying to continue this 8-0 run over the last 2 minutes. Nice play by Feslev as he takes away the entry pass intended for Stanley. Stanley goes up and erases it, but he took it off the glass. That will be goaltending. Count the bucket for Feslev.
It's what the Aggie needed. Turnover into a fast break opportunity, and
absolutely goaltending, by the way.
It's athletic, but just a tad late.
Second straight tough pass by Degenhart, another turnover, and now, how about that? Aduje going up and finishing in transition above the rim.
Game of runs so far tonight.
Man.
Utah State coming out strong. Boise State responding. Utah State coming out at the half, and seems like it's a game of runs, and see who can weather the storm better tonight.
In all honesty, just a couple of sloppy passes right there by Boise State. That was Stanley looking for Whiting cutting to the baseline. Ball is deflected out of bounds off of Utah State. Anderson's going to go to the bench. Max Rice checks back in. 11 on the shot clock. Whiting is going to inbound it. Buzo's going to take it. Tries to go up and under, gets fouled. You can see Buzo thought he should be able to finish that one off. Couldn't quite hang in the air long enough to get the layup, but he will get 2 free throws.
Great thing happened for the Broncos when they get it inside, and Aggies are showing pressure and looking to double it. Broncos got to continue to look to get that ball inside and create from there, whether it's a kick out or let Degenhart, Stanley, or Arbo go one-on-one inside.
Buzo hits the free throw. He has a chance to become the first Bronco to shoot 40% or better from 3 and average 14 or more points a game over an entire season since Derek Marks did it in 2015 when he was the Mountain West Conference Player of the Year. Some good company there.
Some great company right there.
Derek Marks, one of the all-time greats to ever wear the blue and orange. The guy's currently rocking those jerseys, trying to do him proud. Brown gonna try to tie it and does.
Talk about him being the facilitator, but tonight taking it on his own on the offensive end. 3 from 5 from the three-point line, 6 from 13, 15 points.
Tyson Degenhart hits the floor, doesn't get a foul call, down low away from the ball. 12 on the shot clock. Stanley's gonna set the screen for Whiting. Gonna dribble around to the baseline, leaves it for Max under the bucket. Max trying to go up with it, just throws it up. Maybe bailed out by a foul right there. And he's gonna go to the free throw line with the game tied at 61.
You see the respect inside for the Broncos. Trying to go for the foul, initiating the contact. Seen a couple times here in the second half. Broncos could maybe look to attack and be a little bit more aggressive at the rim, but paying a little bit of respect to the Aggies defense.
Max Rice hits the free throw that puts him into double digits with 10 points. Still not the greatest shooting night for the senior. 3 of 12 overall, 2 of 7 from 3. Now 2 of 4 from the free throw line.
10 fouls in a row for the Aggies. I'm gonna guess there might be a foul here coming up on the Broncos.
I don't know if I've ever seen that, Nick. 10 straight fouls against Utah State called.
Coach Sprinkler's doing a great job over there, keeping cool.
2-point game, Aduje. Back out to Brown. Looking for Osborne. Instead, going to go back to Aduje. He drives in. A nice contest by Tyson Degenhart, but that's Aduje that just powers up, able to finish through contact. And now Boise State star junior has 4 fouls.
I think the Aggies would have waited as long as they could to get that foul on Tyson Degenhart. Number 4. Don't see anyone coming to the bench, looking to stick and keep faith in his junior.
With 5:33 to go and Utah State leading by 1, Tyson Degenhart stays on the floor with his 4 fouls. Omar Stanley. Osborne gives way. Stanley loses his balance and turns it over.
Pulled the chair out from underneath him and creates that turnover. Much needed for the Aggies.
The entry pass down low, great feed by Brown, but that's Anderson right there to swat the ball away. Man, I don't know how Brown was able to get that one to Osibor. And Roddy just kind of hangs long enough to get the block. 8 on the shot clock. Oh, quick trigger out of the corner by Martinez. He misses. Ball saved from going out of bounds by Templin, but it winds up in the hands of Boise State. Max Rice lines up a 3.
Huge 3 from Max Rice.
Max Rice fires up the fans once again. Boise State leads by 2, but here comes Utah State. Brown with the layup ties it back up. Now it's 66.
They've run that play a couple times after a big Boise State bucket, and see an offensive foul here on the Broncos.
There's going to be an offensive foul called as Roddy Anderson was trying to get that ball up the court quickly in transition. Foul goes against Omar Stanley, his 4th. I know right now the in-house stat broadcast, I think, has the fouls wrong. That is technically Omar's 4th foul. What happened was Tyson Degenhart's foul on the other end was actually credited to Omar inaccurately. So right now, Omar and Tyson both have 4 fouls.
See how long Stanley will remain on the bench here. And Degenhart, in fact, both off the court right now.
Martinez rises and hits, big jumper.
Huge shot. Aggies really dialing in their offense with their plays here last couple of possessions, creating some great opportunities.
Boise State with 2 key players on the bench in crunch time. With foul trouble, Andrew Martin, the true freshman, trying to handle this when ball continues to be poked away. It's loose and Utah State comes away with it. Cam Martin tries to come over and create a jump ball tie up at the last second, but Osibor able to pull it away, and now Brown has it. A chance for Utah State to make this a multiple possession game. Osibor, pump fake, gets a layup.
Broncos cannot guard the Horns action. It's the 3rd bucket in this half where they've entered it to the postman for an assist.
Utah State leads by 4. The 18th ranked Aggies trying to get a big win on the road. Well, Boise State trying to prove that they can be resilient in the face of adversity. They trail on their home floor to the 18th ranked team in the country, 70-66 with 3:13 remaining. Boise State trying to get their 3rd straight victory over a top 25 opponent. If you go back to last year when they upset San Diego State here, they also beat Colorado State when they were ranked 17th here earlier this year. And right now, for the first time in school history, chasing 3 straight victories over a top 25 team. Utah State has been cool and calm right now, though, in the heat of the moment. They have been able to build their lead back out to 4. Omar Stanley, fouled by Templin.
1-3-1 zone. Switch it up coming out of the timeout. Broncos doing a great job of finding Omar Stanley inside to try and stop this 6-0 run from the Aggies.
Omar Stanley, 15 points tonight, 6 of 10 shooting. 3 of 3 now at the free throw line. 9 rebounds, 2 assists in 30 minutes of action.
Isaac Johnson back in for Utah State.
His teammates so impressed with the player he's become. Tyson Degenhart said Omar has been incredible lately as he knocks down another free throw. So now the capacity crowd trying to let Utah State have it. Do the Broncos have another stop in them? Brown has it, back to Osibor, 7 on the shot clock. Ball poked away for a moment by Abo, and now stolen by Roddy Anderson. Decides to pull it back out in transition. Looking for help, tosses it over to Tyson Degenhart. Boise State trying to get something going offensively here. Max Rice with it, baseline. Over to Anderson at the free throw line, back to Abo. Down low to Stanley, 5 on the shot clock. Has to go, right at Osibor, the pump fake, then up with it. We're tied at 70. Omar Stanley.
Big time play by Omar Stanley, tying this game up, under 2 minutes left.
Everybody on their feet, all 12,058 fans. Brown from 3, misses it long. Aduje fights for the offensive rebound and is able to get it.
Big time play there by Aduje, getting that offensive rebound, creating a second chance opportunity with Coach Denny Sprinkle calling a timeout to get the folks together, draw up a play. See Omar Stanley here in the low post, up and under move, getting that defense off the ground. If I was the Aggies, I think I'd go back to that Horns action. Get that ball to one of the posts, and seem to have found success here in the second half with that action. Seeing a cheap bucket here.
So impressive for a team that, again, rebuilt this thing on the fly. Boise State returned 62% of their points scored last season. Utah State returned 0%. And yet they're off to one of their best starts in school history. At 5-1, it's their second best start in conference play in the last 11 years. And they got a chance to move to 6-1 here with a quad 1 victory on the Broncos' home floor. And I will remind you, Boise State Awfully good here at home. They've won 23 out of their last 24 at ExtraMile Arena. Their lone loss coming about 2 weeks ago against UNLV. Here comes Brown, guarded by Anderson, gets Anderson off his feet, and Brown gets to the free throw line, the 7th team foul for the Broncos. But that will be 2 free throws for Brown.
Roddy Anderson falling for the pump fake, getting in the air, and Brown doing a great job going through that contract. See if he can take the Aggies ahead here.
Brown gets 2 shots. The 84.6% free throw shooter knocks down the first one. This is a guy that is, as described to me, as kind of an old-fashioned point guard. Definitely a pass-first guy. Loves to get his teammates involved. Would rather have 10 assists than 30 points. But, man, Nick, he's been hunting his shot tonight. 7 of 15 from the floor, 3 of 6 from 3, and a team-high 18 points for Utah State.
Scouting points being focused on Azabar, and Brown's done a great job of attacking, finding open looks, and converting as well.
Make it 19 points, 5 assists, and 37 minutes of action. Boise State back down 2. 1:23 left on the game clock. Tyson up and under, gets it to fall, and is going to get a chance to put Boise State back in front at the free throw line. Count the bucket and the foul.
Time and time again, Tyson Degenhardt showing up where it counts most, and not the most athletic big, but he uses his footwork well, gets the defense off their feet.
He's been limited to just 23 minutes tonight, Nick. It has probably been since the beginning of his freshman year where he's been limited to only 23 minutes, but he does have 13 points on 5 of 8 shooting. He's been rather efficient for the Broncos. Makes the free throw. Boise State back in front with 1:19 remaining. Here goes Osibor at Degenhardt, loses it, and Max Rice comes away with it. And Danny Sprinkle just got teed up. A critical moment in the game. He thought that his star forward was fouled on that play. We'll show you down low. It really did look like Osibor just kind of lost control. But Danny Sprinkle comes onto the floor and immediately gets teed up in a 1-point game. Tyson Degenhardt, the first free throw is good. Wow, Boise State will have possession too.
I understand the frustration there by Coach Sprinkle, but tough time to get. Technical foul with 2 free throws made and ball back for the Broncos.
Now the Aggies have to come up with one stop and give themselves a chance to get back in this game. Roddy Anderson's going to check out. Jace Whiting's going to check in. Boise State basketball, 30 on the shot clock, 1:05 on the game clock.
Still a 1-possession game, so no need to foul here from the Aggies. Good defensive possession, so they can create a defensive rebound.
15 on the shot clock, under 50 on the game clock. Over to Chibuzo Abo, back to Whiting. 8 on the shot clock. Rice cuts, can't handle it. Aduje comes up with it. Jump ball created, and the possession arrow is with Boise State.
Huge play. Creating a turnover. Be interesting discussion to see if they reset the shot clock, but does look like he gains possession there on the floor. See the referees discussing. Looks like shot clock's reset to 20 seconds with 38 0.3 seconds left in the game. Still a one-possession game. So Aggies can play straight up.
Okay. Ball inbound, 20 on the shot clock. About a 15-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. Boise State has a chance to make this a very difficult situation with the bucket for Utah State. 5 on the shot clock. Max turns, misses. Omar fighting for the rebound, but it goes out of bounds off of him as he couldn't quite corral it. Boise State is asking for a replay, but I don't think they're going to get it. And they are not. 19 on the game clock. Brown into the front court, going to call a quick timeout. Utah State, typically not one of the best three-point shooting teams in the conference, despite having the best offense in the conference when it comes to scoring. 84 points per game, #1 in the league. Tonight, I will say, though, 8 of 22 from 3, above their season average by a couple of buckets when it comes to making three-point field goals, Nick.
The interesting decision here from Broncos staff. 17 seconds left with up 3. Do they look to foul? Broncos only with 7 fouls on the tally for the second half. Maybe put them to the line for 1-on-1 in order for them not to try and tie it up. Or do you try and play straight up, see if you can get that defensive rebound? Interesting decision for the Broncos.
Talking with Danny Sprinkle, I asked him, what has he enjoyed about this season? 17-2, ranked in the top 25. He says just being around his players and staff. We have tremendous kids. They're fun to be around. They make a really hard job fun. These guys pour countless hours into trying to win basketball games. But being around their staff, the players, it makes them fun. Their trip to the Cayman Islands, their previous big wins, a 1-point miracle at UNLV, seeing the joy on his kid's face, make it all worth it, right? Well, they are in quite a predicament right now. When it comes to rebuilding their roster, I know this has been a little bit of the theme of the broadcast, but it's tough to ignore. Almost an entirely new roster. How did they do it? Well, I love the fact, he said, in all honesty, it did take a little bit of luck, but they were able to turn this thing around, and now they are a top 25 team trying to score one more upset here on the road in Boise, Idaho. Boise State does not have a foul to give. It's worth monitoring that. 17 fouls. Anything on the floor will be a 1-and-1 for Utah State. Going the other way, Utah State, they have 10 team fouls and they are already in the double bonus.
Broncos have been here before this season. 9 games decided by single digits this season, tied 3rd most in the country, and 4 wins decided on the single last possession, as we see here tonight again.
Here we go. Brown pounds the rock, hands it off. Aduje, instead gonna go baseline, pulls up and hits the baseline jumper with 9.5 seconds remaining. That makes it a 1-point game.
Anderson covering 2 players at once on the top, forcing Aduje to take that 2-point shot. You see a quick foul here from Utah State as soon as Boise State inbounds the ball.
The officials just double checking the time. They actually are going to put 0.7 of a second back on the clock. 10.2 seconds remaining. Broncos have to inbound the ball and potentially make some free throws. Tyson gets it to Omar Stanley. They trap him in the corner, looking to tie up a jump ball or create a turnover. Instead, they end up fouling him, and he'll go all the way to the other end of the floor for 2 free throws.
Broncos maybe looking to get the ball into the hands of Max Rice, but good consolation is Omar Stanley shooting the ball well from the line this year, 75%.
You mentioned Boise State being really good in close games. Utah State unbeatable so far this season in close games. Undefeated in games decided by 5 points or less. That includes a 2-0 record in games decided by 1 point. Stanley hits the first. That gives him 20 points, a game high. Another big free throw coming here to try to make it a 3-point game. Utah State will have to go quickly either way. Misses the second free throw. Johnson with the outlet. Martinez dribbling it up. Gonna go right at the bucket. Gets the layup with 1.3 seconds to go. Here goes Roddy Anderson. As the clock expires, we'll have overtime.
Great job for Martinez getting down the lane and going coast to coast to put this game into another 5-minute period.
What a shot and what a take by the Maryland transfer, Ian Martinez. Gets the ball, goes quickly up the court, off the missed free throw here. And Boise State doesn't get back quite quickly enough to really contest that shot, and Martinez ties the game.
This game deserves another 5 minutes, doesn't it, Jay?
Tied atop the conference standings, tied at the end of regulation. Yeah, let's do overtime, everybody. Try to tell you, Danny Sprinkle loves this team, loves the character of this team and the resiliency of this team. Well, it was on full display right there as somehow they climb out of that 3-point deficit with 10 seconds to go and tie this game and get it to overtime.
The longer this game goes, the more Utah State will want this game to go on. Omar Stanley, Tyson Degenhardt, 4 fouls each. Assuming that ball on the offensive end will be attacked through them. See if they can try and get one of those two out of the game, if not both.
Took a bit of the wind out of Bronco Nation, that's for sure. I told you that Boise State trying to create that home court advantage, that atmosphere to match some of the other great home courts here in the Mountain West Conference. Tyson Degenhardt just noticing that over the years attendance has increased here. Right now, or at least coming into this game, Boise State averaged 10,089 fans at home, third best in the Mountain West Conference. He said the ExtraMile Arena can be one of the loudest venues in the country when it's cranked up. Well, 5 more minutes to let Utah State have it if you're a member of Bronco Nation. Meanwhile, the Aggies have done a great job of quieting that crowd for the most part. This is the 58th all-time meeting between these two. Utah State leads the all-time series 36 games to 21. They have won the last 2 in a row over Boise State, looking to make it 3 in a row. Well, it'll decide it in overtime as Utah State comes away with the tip. Boise State hasn't played in an overtime game since last year. They beat UNLV in OT in the Mountain West Conference Tournament. The Broncos built a massive lead in that game, only to see it evaporate. Eventually they came back and were able to come up with that game. They went on to meet this team where they're playing right now in the semifinals of the Mountain West Conference Tournament. The Aggies knocked them out in the semifinals. That is a big foul down low. Leon Rice, hands on his head. It does go against Omar Stanley, his leading scorer. A one-and-one opportunity for Osabor.
Tough break for the Broncos.
And exactly what Utah State likely hoping for. Get this thing to an extra frame, and now Boise State's leading scorer on the evening out. Osabor, a rare miss at the free throw line on the front end of a 1-and-1. Boise State gets the rebound now in a tie game. Tyson Degenhardt with 4 fouls, guarded by Johnson. Now he's doubled, looking for help, splits the double team, goes up right at Osabor, misses, and now Utah State has it. Down low to Osabor. Roddy Anderson comes over to help Cam Martin. He kicks it out. Johnson's going to line up a 3. Misses. Max Rice with the rebound. Martin back to Degenhardt. Going to line up a 3. Misses it short. Abo chases down the offensive rebound. Over to Anderson on the other wing. Way long. Missed everything on that one. Here comes Johnson with the layup, the finger roll off the glass and in.
Pick and pop, pick and roll. He seems to have all the tools in the shed. And
man, Johnson's feeling it tonight. 12 points, check that. 13 points, 10 rebounds, a double-double. Max Rice into the lane, the floater. No good, too strong. A rough shooting night continues for Max Rice now. Just 4 of 15 from the floor.
Maybe not the best shot there for the Broncos. Little floater. See if he can get the ball into Agbo or Tyson Degenhardt's hands.
Here comes Brown. They get the switch. The much smaller Anderson on Johnson. Back over to Brown. Brown wants everybody to clear out. Launches up a deep three. Misses it a little short.
Contested three instead of taking it on Tyson Degenhardt.
Buzo's gonna rise. Too long. The officials have swallowed their whistles here in overtime. The 27th time a Leon Rice-led Boise State team has played in overtime. 11 and 15 in those previous 26 games. Osobor rises up and gets fouled by Cam Martin. He'll go to the free throw line in a 2-point game with 2 free throws coming his way.
Smart play here. Cam Martin hand out and take that ball straight up through, get himself back to the free throw line.
Osobor hits.
Chase Whiting back in for the Broncos. Replacing Anderson.
Now Boise State feeling the pressure as Osobor makes it a 4-point game. Utah State so steady, so calm, unaffected by the elements. Abo guarded by Osobor. Rises up, Osobor blocks the shot. Ball poked away. Aduje in transition with the dunk. Leon Rice calls a timeout as this one feels like it is slipping away from the Broncos. They had a chance to finish this one in regulation, but a missed free throw attempt gave Utah State life. And with that life, they have built a 6-point lead with only 1:46 remaining. Earlier this year, Boise State in a very similar position against North Texas somehow was able to finish that game on a run and pull that one out. This one feels like the uphill battle is a little more steeper. No Omar Stanley, who is fouled out. Tyson Degenhardt has 4 fouls, and the 18th ranked team in the country holds a 6-point advantage.
Tough spot for the Broncos right now, but still a minute 46. See if they can come down, get a good offensive set going, get the ball into Abo or Max Rice's hands. Don't have to go for the hero play for 3. Plenty of time left to come back.
Again, Utah State looking for their 3rd straight win over Boise State dating back to last year. Here comes Whiting. Looking for Degenhardt. Degenhardt's going to try to attack, and Osobor gets fouled. So this will be 2 free throw attempts for Degenhardt. Osobor fouled Degenhardt, that is.
Ball back into Degenhardt's hand, and Osobor going for the steal there and sends Tyson back to the line, and some huge free throws here.
Degenhardt misses the first free throw.
Ronnie Anderson back in for Boise State. Replacing Rice. 1 more.
Makes the second. Still a 5-point game with 95 seconds remaining. Utah State able to break the pressure. Roddy Anderson gets back and fouls Aduje. Utah State loaded with good free throw shooters. Kind of pick your poison here if you want to play the, extend the game. Aduje, a touch under 70%, and on this team, one of the lowest marks.
2 shots.
Still double bonus, 2 shots. Makes the first.
Max Rice back in the game for the Broncos. For Ryan.
And the second. A 7-point game. 1:29 to go. Max Rice over to Cam Martin, pivots, gets it back to Rice. 15 on the clock. Here comes Degenhart, tries to drive into the lane, through contact, gets the layup. Boise State sets up pressure.
Broncos got to create a turnover here.
Under a minute to go here in overtime. Utah State up 5.
Boise State not looking to foul.
They will play it out. Looking for a stop. 12 on the shot clock, 45 on the game clock. Over to Martinez, down low to Osibor. Degenhart comes over, creates the turnover. Broncos have to go quickly. Degenhart's gonna pull up, try the 3, and hits it. A 2-point game.
Coach Sprinkle not too happy there. Somehow Tyson Degenhart left wide open on transition offense and brings the Broncos back.
It
2-point game.
A little bit of life here as Degenhart pulls up, hits the 3. 31.3 on the game clock, 30 on the game clock. If you can't force a turnover, Boise State will be forced to foul and play the free throw game. Tyson Degenhart with 22 points. 13 of those have been in the second half. The Broncos trying to hope for one last miracle and rally back. Utah State was able to pull off a 3-point deficit with 10 seconds to go in regulation. The Broncos down 2 with a little over 30 left here in OT.
Martinez and Brown for the Aggies, both shooting over 80%. See if the Broncos can try to get the ball out of those hands and get someone else to the line to shoot these free throws that are about to come up. As you mentioned, Jay, shooting over 70% from the free throw line as a team, and they have a lot of sample size with that as well. 427 on the season.
It does look like they add almost a second back on the game clock. It now reads 32.1 seconds. A balanced scoring effort for Utah State. Osibor with 14, Martinez with 14, Brown with 19, Aduje with 16, and Johnson with 13. Boise State trying to get the trap in the corner. Ball poked away. Roddy Anderson hands on his head, but he gets called for the foul. Aduje now walks to the other end of the floor.
69% free throw shooter.
Aduje unfazed at the free throw line. His last 2 trips there. Lines it up and makes it a 2-possession game. Broncos looking to go quickly again. 23 seconds left in overtime. Jace Whiting dribbling in, up and under, misses the layup, ball poked away. And I think they're going to call a foul on Johnson. And that is his 5th foul, if it's on him. Isaac Johnson, one of his best games as a college basketball player. 13 points, 11 rebounds, all of them on the defensive end. A pair of blocks, played 32 minutes. What an effort for the Utah native. Takes a lot of pride playing for his home state team. So maybe the officials want to look at the game clock again, potentially. They are going to check time and make sure that it is accurate. Right now, the game clock reads 15.8 seconds. Both teams huddled up by their benches.
Game clock resets to 16:07.
They'll add a little more time, 16.7 seconds is now on the clock.
17.1. We're adding more.
Important 3 free throws coming up to cut this back to 2-point game. See if they can create a turnover here after the free throws as well.
It's the first. As they say, there's a reason you play these games, Nick. Boise State was picked to finish 2nd in the Mountain West in the preseason poll. Utah State picked to finish 9th. Right now, they're trying to secure a spot on top of the Mountain West all by themselves. Tyson Degenhardt hits both free throws, checks out of the game with his 4 fouls. Roddy Anderson back in. Boise State's going to set up their full court pressure here. Ball poked away, out of bounds. It looks like it might have deflected off of a Utah State player. Chibuzo Abo applied the pressure. The officials initially ruled that it was out of bounds off of the Aggies. We are going to get a closer look here. I'm skeptical to begin, but you can see Buzo going for it against Martinez, both of their arms extended. Here is another angle at this one, the best we have for you. On the inbounds here, it looks like it was out of bounds off of Abo, but the officials are going to have to decide if there is enough evidence there to overturn the call on the floor. Right now, they ruled it a turnover. Possession is with Boise State. A big call coming for a relatively young and inexperienced officiating crew. Try to get you another replay here. A little bit of a higher angle. You can see both of their hands extended. Can't quite tell if maybe if it made its way to Martinez's hand and deflected out off of him. That's what the officials think at the moment.
From the other angle, there does look like it may have come up. I mean, it's going to be touch and go.
I think the important thing to know,
be too biased,
yeah,
playing from Boise State, but that's a tough call. And obviously, the main caveat to that is referees did blow Boise State ball, and they need to have definitive evidence. But I mean, that's touch and go right there, and it does look like Abo get a hand on it, but does that flow through onto?
I probably think it's out of bounds off of Abo. But that's my opinion and what I can see. My opinion doesn't matter.
But this decision
trying to find you a few more looks. Yeah, look at this one, Nick. Kind of more from behind, still a high angle here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very close.
Yep.
The officials gathered now at midcourt as we show you one more angle while we await the ruling. Another
Doesn't
tough
give
angle.
us too much there.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they overturn the call. They are going to give the ball to Utah State.
Yep. Aggies got the ball in deep corner, hard position to inbound this. Oh.
Abo diving on the floor to try to get a hand on Martinez to get a foul called. A tough free throw shooter to send at the free throw line at this stage in the game. I mean, a big difference here, Nick. Boise State missed some critical free throws down the stretch. Utah State has been absolutely perfect, it seems.
81%. Seems like they've made the last 6 to 8. Conversely, Boise State only shooting 74% from the game, 23 from 31. As you mentioned, that big free throw at the end of regulation, opening up that comeback for Utah State. Martinez, 82% free throw shooter. Aggies will be happy having him at the line right now.
Yep. Makes the first. His last game against Fresno State, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, and 2 blocks. Such a diverse stat line right there. It's the 6th time in the last 14 years a Utah State player has posted that type of stat line. You look at what he's done tonight, 15 points, 3 rebounds, and a pair of assists in 41 minutes of action. Makes them both. 2 big free throws. Broncos still searching for a miracle comeback. 10 seconds to go. Whiting tries to kick it back. Ball poked away. Boise State turns it over. Abo commits the foul to Martinez, and that is gonna do it, folks. Utah State proves that they are an elite program in college basketball right now. They pulled off a miracle down in Las Vegas, down 4 with 10 seconds to go to squeak out a 1-point victory over the running Rebels. They rally from 3 down with 10 seconds to go against Boise State in regulation to force overtime today, and they are about to polish this thing off.
Special team and game of trends and runs today, and Utah State able to weather the storm the best, and team we're going to see deep into March this year.
Road victories are huge, and Utah State's getting one of the biggest and hardest in the Mountain West Conference as Roddy Anderson misses the 3, and Utah State does it. They come into Boise, Idaho, and upset the Broncos in overtime, 90-84 the final. Knew this was going to be a good game, Nick. It lived up to it. Utah State going to get out of Boise, though, with an overtime victory. And now the Aggies take over sole possession of first place in the Mountain West Conference.
Oh, great game there from the Aggies. I mean, mention all the off-season drama, new head coach, 0 returning players with any points in the 2022-2023 season, and they kept their cool tonight. Played a strong 45 minutes and weathered all the storms that Boise State presented, and step-up game from Brown, 19 points, 7 from 16, 3 from 6, 7 from behind the arc, and Ozabour, only 14 points, only took 5 shots as well, 8 from 11 from the line, but he changed a lot of possessions there from the Aggies down the stretch.
So again, Utah State with the victory. We are joined now by Boise State star junior forward Tyson Degenhardt. He actually ends up finishing with a game-high 24 points, on 7 of 12 shooting, had 4 rebounds, battled foul trouble. Really a majority of the night, ends up playing 30 minutes, but the Broncos come up a little short against a really tough Utah State team. Tyson, we appreciate you swinging by to join us, man. I know you're absolutely gassed. That one, I assume, hurts. What went wrong there down the stretch? It was just tough to finish that one off for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we were up 3, gave up a little 2-pointer, and then we trust Omar to make those free throws, and I know he's going to make them. And, you know, up 2 and then get a layup and send us to overtime. But we just didn't get the looks that we needed to in overtime, and that's about it.
Great Ozabor, you know, one of the leading scorers in Mountain West right now. Only took 5 shots tonight, but talk a little bit about him and his inside presence, putting some foul pressure on the Broncos.
Oh man, he's a great player, very, very physical, very finesse-oriented with his spins, and even though he took 5 shots, he still, what do you have, 14 points, 10 rebounds, 7 assists. That's pretty good, so heck of a player.
Tyson, we appreciate you joining us on the post-game show. Go ahead, rest up, get ready, because I know you guys got to head back out on the road. Another tough game coming up. We appreciate you joining us, Tyson.
Thank you, appreciate it.
We will be back with more live from ExtraMile Arena right after this. Well, a big win for Utah State, and in all honesty, kind of an awkward feeling for Bronco Nation. At one point in time, Boise State had won 22 straight games on their home floor, the longest streak of its kind in the country, and now they've lost 2 out of their last 3 here. And the ability to make free throws at the end of the game, kind of the reason for both of those L's.
Tough shooting there from Omar Stanley and at the end of the game, but you know, Mountain West, every single game counts, and especially on home court. Really need to protect home court advantage and make sure you go on 7-2. 6-3 at the minimum, and as you mentioned, dropping 2 games here at the start of conference play, you know, puts a lot of emphasis and pressure on them on the road.
I was really impressed by Utah State today. They were in adverse situations a number of times, and you look out there and it looked like they were completely unfazed, Nick.
Didn't ride the roller coaster.
Nope.
And it really was a game of runs. 6-0 run here, 10-0 run there, but you see Utah State just stay within their identity, stick it out, and see them get the win here at ExtraMile Arena.
Danny Sprinkle not only making a push to be the Mountain West Coach of the Year, but maybe even on a national stage, because his team now is 18-2 on the year. You know, Nick, at halftime, these shooting percentages, I guess you could kind of say that they flipped. At halftime, Utah State only shooting 40% from the floor, Boise State up near 50%. You see the final stats of the game, and all of a sudden it's almost like the stats correct themselves. Utah State in the second half, a much more efficient team shooting the basketball, shot over 57%, almost 58%. If you're Boise State, a team that takes so much pride on the defensive end and actually has a number of stats to back up, you're one of the more efficient defensive teams in the country, that just has to hurt.
You mentioned it right there, it completely flipped. And especially for Utah Aggies, it happened inside. Only 1 from 7 from the 3-point line in the second half, 15 from 19 inside. So they did all their damage inside, 8 from 9 from the free throw line, made their free throws when it counted. That was really their recipe in the second half to come back.
Now, Boise State has a big road victory at Nevada to their credit, but this is now 2 losses on their home floor, and you know, if you want to contend and win Mountain West championships, it is crucial to take care of your home court. It doesn't get much easier, because coming up this week, they head out on the road to face a 25th ranked New Mexico team that, with all due respect to Utah State, New Mexico might be the hottest team in the conference at the moment. They're playing incredible basketball. They come back here to play Air Force on February 3rd, but then it's back out on the road for back-to-backs at Colorado State and at Utah State. Like, it just doesn't get any easier, Nick.
Never gets any easier. Got 6 teams inside the top net rankings of 50. Can't take a day off, even if with Air Force in the middle. And Colorado State away, Utah State away. That's a gauntlet right there.
So Boise State just kind of lets this one slip away in the waning moments of regulation. Utah State able to force overtime, and tonight they prove they're the tougher basketball team, and in all honesty, the toughest basketball team in the Mountain West Conference at the moment. The Aggies holding down the top spot in the league despite being picked to finish 9th in the preseason poll. Boise State again now heads out on the road For everyone back in the production truck, what a game. For my partner, Nick Duncan, it was a wild ride, but Utah State knocks off Boise State for the third time in a row. The Aggies are headed back to Logan with a win.